Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And this time on the movie review that someone who wanted me to review this film, a film that came out this year. I forget who sent me who asked me for that though, but we were watching this. This is what you wanted to do, and I don't usually do requests though because I have a lot going on because I had a lot of catching up to do though, but I can make exceptions for only a couple though, but like I said, I have a lot of catching to do to the reason I keep saying I give the same reason why I have a lot of catching up to do, but because of some of the things I wanted to plan this year, but I missed the majority of it. But this is one of them. Someone asked and wanted to review this one because it came out earlier this year. What are my thoughts on it? Well, I forget the person's name, but if you're watching this, this is what you wanted to review. Now, it's a film that came out earlier this year. It's a family film, and it's an adaptation of a classic character that I remember growing up with. Though I didn't watch a whole bunch growing up, though, but I am familiar with the character. And this is what I did not expect at all from this character. Well, judging from the trailers as well, so. But this is the adaptation of Peter Rabbit. And Peter Rabbit's came out earlier this year in February, and it opened up at number 2 of the box office. It was behind the last 50 Shades film, Freed. And before I get into what about the film, about the plot of the film, it was hold on a second, get the right thing right here. Yeah, okay. I just had to look up real quick. The film I didn't expect this film to be a surprise hit. This film made 115 million domestically on a budget of 50 million. And worldwide, 351 million. Now, this totally surprised me. I didn't expect that film to be this big of a hit. I didn't. And that just totally surprised me. I expected the film to be that huge. And a decent opening, but it turned out to be a big moneymaker. And the film is getting a sequel. It's going to come out in February 2020. So we're definitely going to get a sequel to this. And it did get some positive reviews, I guess, but it has a 64% Rotten Tomatoes. And the film was directed by Will Gluck, who directed a film called Easy A, and also the 2014 remake of Annie. And I didn't watch either of those, though. But okay. I overall didn't care for the film. So, because now the Peter Rabbits, I remember watching. I had old VHS tapes of this collection of Beatrix. What was the woman who created Peter Rabbit? That's what I was looking up. The person. Yeah, Beatrix Potter. The series of stories that she came up with of these characters that I watched on VHS. You got Peter Rabbit, you got Tom Kitten, and the other characters that you see in this also in the movie. I forget the other character's name. You got the frog that likes to fish. You got the talking pig, the porcupine, which I forget her name was though, but characters you've seen in the old it was 1993. Those are VHS tapes, which I'll show you a picture right here. Which because I used to have them, but not no more. So, but I'll show you a picture of these tapes VHS tapes that I used to have. Now, yeah, show the picture of those VHS that I used to have. They're from 1993. I think it was the year. And Peter Rabbit was a classic character, and the difference in this, no, just makes in this film just makes Peter Rabbit a complete douche. They made this film about Peter Rabbit a complete douchebag until he tries to make his amends at the end of the movie. But throughout the film, I just thought this Peter Rabbit was a douchebag and unlikable. And that's what I say, because all the times he's doing, and of course, certain things, the modern things they add into nowadays, that was nothing like how it was back in when. So, which I'll explain though. But okay, in this film, like I said, in this film, Peter Rabbit with his three sisters. You got Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail. And first, the voice of Peter Rabbit, James Corden, I'm not a big fan of. I just watched too many things of his. I think he has his own show. I forget. But other films that he has been, I have honestly I'm not that big fan of. So, but other voices, you got Cottontail, voiced by Daisy Ridley, who's playing what was her name? Ray from the new Star Wars films. Wants to be who's the next Jedi. You got Margot Robbie, who voices Flopsy. Margot Robbie, who played Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad and starred in a lot of other films. And you got Elizabeth Debicki, who plays Mopsy. Which honestly, they all have almost the same accent. I couldn't tell who was who, honestly. So because they almost sound the same, but I couldn't tell who was voicing who. And then he had Peter Rabbit's I think it was his cousin, Benjamin Bunny. And then he got the hedgehog was Mrs. Tingy Winkle. Yeah, the hedgehog, voiced by Sia. I think she was a singer. I've heard a couple of songs that she sang. I think that's her. Yeah. So, and then that's for the majority of the voice cast, and for the human characters, you got Domhnall Gleeson, who also stars from the new Star Wars film. He was General Hux, and you got Rose Byrne, and those basically are two leads. And what's the show with Peter Rabbit, how him and his siblings and Benjamin, they got how it was they wanted to get to the McGregor's garden. They always want to steal his vegetables and stuff like that, his fruit and vegetables. They always want to steal from him, and it's also sad to say the guy, the farmer, Mr. McGregor, is played by Sam Neill. At first, I didn't recognize him because he has a big bushy beard in this film. So I thought that was is that Sam Neill? Until he starts talking his accent, and just as he looking hard, is that his face is I couldn't tell because he has a big beard, so hard recognized him. And honestly, I enjoy Sam Neill I enjoy Sam Neill from Jurassic Park and other films I've seen him in. I enjoy him as an actor. I think this is his most embarrassing role he's done. To me, I think this is his most embarrassing role. He sets traps. He sets traps for the people, for the vermins. He's always to get into his guard, especially for Peter Rabbit. Rabbit, and Peter Rabbit loses his blue jacket and puts on so he can use it as a scarecrow. So he wants it back, and of course, the jokes is that because as Peter Rabbit wants to get away, Sam Neill he's bent over and you see his freaking ass crack, facing Peter Rabbit, and Peter Rabbit's gonna stick a carrot in his back pants. I'm like, really? And if I was didn't even see Sam Neill's ass crack, face in, and the whole thing that Peter Rabbit was gonna stick a carrot in his back pants, and then eventually he loses his jacket, but he's going to go back to get it, and because it was a jacket that his father gave him, and Although I will say, one little credit I will say, how it shows, it's supposed to like the same style of animation, like how it was in the VHS tapes that I used to have, like the same style of animation, like how it shows with Peter Rabbit and his family with his mother and father and all that. It's a decent animation, how it shows, like, trying to be like the quality from the VHS tapes that I watched. But that's like, doesn't help save the film though. So he goes in to get his jacket, he does, he gets caught, and because Samuel's waiting for him, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna make you to a pie. And then he has a heart attack and dies. And then he says, oh, and he's like, well, Peter's like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And of course he goes and just takes this to steal the vegetables. And he's like, oh, I took out McGregor and all that stuff. And Rose Byrne, and who's the McGregor's next door neighbor, she likes the animals. So I guess even though, okay, I know it's live action though, right? And I guess in this, I guess with her, I guess, and I guess in this world they're fine with there's like animals that wear clothes and all that, and to them it's perfectly normal. It's perfectly normal for them to see them like do all like human type of things, like characteristics and wear clothes and all that. I know it's supposed to be it's a live action film, but I just think it's like, okay, they look at this as perfectly normal. I mean, even Cats and Dogs, the film Cats and Dogs, even the second film, Revenge of Kitty Galore, I mean, the animals, they were acting normal because they need to, and so the humans don't find out, like that, they were just acting like normal cats and dogs, so the humans don't find out what they can really do. Like, they're actually spies and all that stuff, to hide all the gadgets and all that stuff. Here, though, just wearing the animals on clothes and doing like almost like human characteristics is perfectly normal. I don't think this doesn't work. And the Rosemary's like being all nice. Oh no, they're just animals. They're not doing anything. But whatever. Yeah. So and she's like, oh, leave the fence open, leave the gate open. Yeah, so they can go right back in and steal the vegetables, which he's trying to keep out. So Sam Neill dies from a heart attack, and then Curly has his great nephew, because it was his great uncle, his great nephew, played by Domhnall Gleeson. And one thing about Domhnall Gleeson, but I know he started in the Star Wars films as General Hux, but I also recognized him as he was in Dread. I was looking at all the films he was in. He was in Dread. He was supposed to be, he was like working for Mama, like which showed basically he was actually a victim, like when the rookies with the psychic abilities saw what Big Mama did to him, like with eyes, making his eyes look like robotic, and then she let him go. That's him. I was like, oh really? That was him in Dread, really? And now he's starring in the Star Wars films as General Hux. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I think he was not that bad though, but I'm just overall not that big overall fan of him. But I don't think he was not that bad at all. And Rose Byrne, I like Rose Byrne too, but she was all right in this. But just like her character saying like, oh, okay, just animals with clothes, that's perfectly normal, and just they're not harming you that much or whatever. Leave your gate open, all that stuff. It's just. But they're not that bad though. But just the, I don't know. It's hard for me to say. Just either it's probably just how the characters are. So that's all put. But Domhnall Gleeson, who plays Thomas McGregor, he's the great nephew. He works at this toy store in London, and he's a neat freak. He likes everything organized and how very detailed things are, and even though it's stupid thing where he has to tell his coworkers that he even drinks from the freaking toilet from the public restroom because to show how clean it is, and really. So a film about Peter Rabbit, you have him who's unlikable as a character, and you have people like a lead guy drinking from a toilet. So that's jokes like that. He's doing all this because he's really want this promotion, but it's been given to this dim-witted guy, He loses it. He's fired, and there was a will that was left to him from his great uncle, who he never knew. And so he is in the country. He doesn't like the country though, but he decides to use to sprite up the place, to sell it and buy his own toy store. He goes there. He meets with Rose Byrne, and before that, since McGregor, the old McGregor, is not around, the animals, they use as a partying up, they trash the whole place. And like you see more of the characters, like you see the pig, the pig, I forget the pig's name is. That's Mrs. Tinky Wiggle. You even have the fox. One of the old VHS is like, but there was the duck who meets with that fox who wants her eggs in the old VHS tapes I was watching. There's a deer and some other animals too. Well, all animals that was around the area. They trash the whole place. But when Domhnall Gleeson gets there, he sees it's all a mess and all the animals. They run out, and because they know that he's a McGregor, because he must be a McGregor and all that. So he cleans up the whole place. Everything where how it was, and I forgot to mention that what I mentioned with McGregor with Sam Neill, you see like little flashes of him eating junk food and even drinking from a dirty water bath. Yeah, just stuffing his face with junk food, and to me, this I think this is Sam Neill's most embarrassing role he's done. I was watching, it's like, really, Sam Neill you go from Jurassic Park and to other good roles in other films, and you see him just first time seeing his ass crack, and then you just see him like a scene where he's eating all this junk food and then drinking from dirty water from a bath, dirty bird bath, and all that stuff. Yeah, I think to me this is Sam Neill's embarrassing role. So I had to show that because they show flashes of that. So. And so he gets some fences, to around the property to keep them out, and Rose Byrne gives him a little welcoming gift, for bird watching, binoculars, and tells her to leave the gate open. He doesn't. Wouldn't blame him. And Peter Rabbit, he wants to go and get more of the vegetables and all that stuff, and throughout this whole film, this is this whole battle between Peter Rabbit and Thomas McGregor battling it out. And like I said, like the whole modern things, like Peter Rabbit like doing like kung fu, like where Domhnall Gleeson's in bed and he's all the traps on him, and he's hitting like the rakes him back and forth, and you see like Peter Rabbit doing like kung fu, hitting him and all that stuff. And of course they did Mars, like make everybody an action star, and even characters action stars. So yeah, we watched the old VHS tapes. Yeah, that's what you want to see in Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit, just a ordinary bunny rabbit, curious and all that stuff. And here he's doing kung fu and hurting this guy, for his amusement because he wants him out. And yeah, this is which I wouldn't blame, because not only for the trailer but the criticism as well, because they're also dealing with with bullying, because our character, he's allergic to blackberries, because there's towards more than halfway through the film, they're shooting blackberries in with slingshots, and because he said he was allergic, so they took advantage of that, and gets one shot in his mouth, and he's allergic, and he's swallowing, so he takes like a thing to stab himself with to make him feel better. Which I think that they said that looking up because that the Sony wrote and apologized for that. And even for the trailers, they received criticisms because how, basically what I would describe with Peter Rabbit, and saying it's garbage, it's disrespectful to Miss Potter's work. And it's like they said, it's the biggest abomination since the Emoji Movie. I don't know. I don't think I won't put this on the same level as the Emoji Movie, because Emoji Movie is on its own different level, please. But yeah, I wouldn't blame for being disrespectful to Miss Potter's work. So it's how the way they wrote this character. So, and like I said, the majority of the film is this big battle, them duking up between each other, and like I said, he sets up traps, and he's him with up with rags, and even when he buys an electric fence, they turn that against him when he like touches something metal like a door handle, a doorknob. He gets thrown back. This makes Peter Rabbit unlikable. He's just a complete douchebag and all that. I'm just watching because this is for something that I watched on the old VHS tapes. This is what I want to see for this. Yeah, and even just one more, and in this point where we know that McGregor, Domhnall Gleeson, Rose Byrne, that he likes her, and there's like shows them like most of them doing stuff like on like dating and all that stuff, and even one point where it's raining and Peter Rabbit's, he's getting angry because he likes Rose Byrne because she treats them good, but he doesn't want that. So when he's she was go out in the part of her house to paint something, and Peter Rabbit and him just start fighting each other. And when she comes back, look, you're so cute together. And then when she leaves again, they're fighting once again. When she comes back in, you get the whole thing. When she leaves, they fight. When she comes back, they're all nice to each other. Until one point where Domhnall Gleeson makes Peter Rabbit mess up a painting she did, and he's like, you messed up my painting. Shoo, go away. And Domhnall Gleeson's like smiling. Although so you see that she also paints it, but you also see these other pictures like how the pictures were from the old animation, because he shows like Peter Rabbit eating some carrots. I remember that image from the old cartoons. So yeah, it's nice to see the little glimpses of those pictures from the old animation. But so the same glimpses of like old animation type of style from the old cartoons doesn't help save the movie though. So, and it's at one point where they're at the where they're just throwing stuff once again. They're battling it out with each other, throwing stuff at each other, and once we get to the black bear incident where he stabs himself with the thing to peel him. It's like, he stabbed himself. And thinking he's dead, but he's not. And then at one point where he tells he's gonna dynamite their rabbit hole where they're living at, but he doesn't do it though. But instead, there's another point where he's throwing them out to each other in the gardens. They're throwing them at each other, and to one point where Peter Rabbit he had the remote control to blow up the stuff, but to blow up the rest of the fire dynamite, but actually blows up his tree. And the tree falls into Rose Byrne's house, and she blames it on him because it's like, because they're rabbits, they couldn't possibly do that. Really, so the rabbits, animals like wear clothes and do all like kung fu and all the other stuff like shooting slingshots and all that stuff. Yeah, they can't do that. But he gets blamed for it, so. She's gonna leave, and so is he, because he has everything nice and ready, and then he gets rehired back at his old job, and then Peter Rabbit he says all this is his fault, which it is, and he's gonna make things right. So him and Benjamin they go to London. And of course, like I said, it's in the modern world now, like we are in now. So they're since they've never been to London, they have all this stuff wearing stuff like London souvenirs and all that. Seeing Big Ben, and then they go to the store where he's at, and they see him, and he loses it again. And which his old boss like, he's losing again. So, and now he sees them that they talk. He's like, you can talk. So. He apologizes for all that stuff, so he tells him that Rose Byrne's going to leave, so convinces him to leave his job again and go after her. He has this whole thing where he's on a boat, he's on this one of those pumping things, those carts on the trains, you do this back and forth to make the thing move. So there's all this montage of him. He's like even one point they're running in slow motion. Do that nowadays? They do that in the Smurfs and do the other stuff. Why is it all of our main characters have to run in slow motion? That's overused nowadays. And so he gets there and tells her he doesn't want you to leave. I love you and all that stuff. And then two other people that the Domhnall Gleeson met earlier, they bought the house, but... And even Rose Byrne says, that even... Because Peter Rabbit shows her the remote that blew up the dynamite. He's like, you did this? Because she didn't believe it before because animals could not do that. But Peter Rabbit shows. He's pushing the buttons. And Peter Rabbit lets the two of them observe what he's going to do to this older couple. Yeah, they're all like, oh, and it's like, I don't know if they can do that. Rose Byrne says, and Domhnall Gleeson's like, believe me, there's a lot more you do not know about them. So they use the electric fence to do the same thing with the doorknobs and all that, and then all the animals are there. And the film ends with them just patching things up. They're like the credits, they're patching the Rose Byrne's house up, and then there's a book about the Peter Rabbit and the friends. That's basically it. So, yeah, I overall just didn't like the film. So, hey, I like majority of family movies. You know, with even there's certain live action adaptations of films, of family films that I like though, but certain ones. But I can't, not everything is perfect. So, to me, I overall did not like Peter Rabbit because especially how our main character is written. Because from the old VHS I watched growing up with, that's not why I don't see that for this. Big difference. It's like night and day. For Rabbit, like in the old VHS tapes, how he was just a kind, innocent bunny, and like part where when he was caught, when he lost his jacket, he was like all scared and all that. Here, like I said, he's totally fearless. He's doing like kung fu and all that stuff. He knows all that stuff, and with his three sisters, to teach him how to use a slingshot and all this combat stuff. This is which I can definitely see why people would like call the trailer was trash. The movie trailers were trash, and the whole controversy with the whole bullying thing with the Blackbird incident. Yeah, I can see why those type of people don't like this film. I can see why. But to me, from my perspective, they should not how they wrote Peter Rabbit. To me, it was unlikable because everything is done. By the end, he's trying to make amends for everything he'd done. Doesn't make up for everything. To me, that doesn't make up for everything what he's done. For he's done for this guy here. So, but the film surprisingly made a ton of money, and it was getting a sequel. So, I guess people who like the film want to see a sequel, I guess. But like I said, Domhnall Gleeson, Rose Byrne, they're not bad at all. I don't think they weren't horrible. But and like see a look at snippets of the animation from the old cartoons for the VHS that I've seen, that type of animation. It's nice to see little snippets in there because for people who forget how it was in the old VHS tapes that I watched. But but it's just our title character to me was not likable, and Sam Neill, I think this is his most embarrassing role. This is what I've described, and sad to say, just because I like Sam Neill. It's just, and I think he voiced another animal as well as Domhnall Gleeson and Rose Byrne. I couldn't tell which animal was who, so who voiced who, what animal. But whatever. But yeah, in the visually how the animation for the animals, because it's been by Sony Pictures Animation, like the same company that did stuff for the Goosebumps films and the Smurfs movies and the Hotel Transylvania films. Honestly, I like the Smurfs better than this. So, but this film made money. It's gonna get a sequel, so it doesn't matter what I say. But if people tend to agree or disagree with me, that's fine. I'm not gonna. I don't hold ill will to anybody who disagrees or with me. So, if you like the film, that's fine. But if you disagree, that's fine too. I'm just giving my honest opinion on this. I would put this as well, I was looking at looking at now how my list of the worst films of 2018 are. I'll put this on there because a classic character written as an unlikable one, that does not work for me. Especially, like I said, with watching the old VHS tapes for that character, how it was, it's completely night and day in this. So, yeah, I'll put this as the worst. Probably it won't be as high, like. Not, it won't be. I won't put this in my top 5, but I'll probably like number 9 or 10 though. But I still need time to cultivate how my complete list is. So, but I'll put this on there though because I think it's the character itself. That's the main issue with me on this. So yeah, but for the person who wanted me to review this film, Peter Rabbit, you got it. Didn't like it. Plain and simple. But thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.